It's cool to want to have people understand you. It's cool to want to be able to connect with people. But at the end of the day, people only have a certain ability to understand you. People have a limited ability to get you because they can only see from the center of themselves. So the best thing you can do is honor yourself by learning to trust who you are. Hi guys! Welcome to Breakfast with BB. I'm so excited to have you here. My name is Brandon Baker and this is my show dedicated to all things spirituality and mindfulness. Here we do the nitty-gritty, dirty shadow work. Here we do the work that is necessary to free ourselves, to transcend whatever is holding us back, whether it be ego, compulsive emotions, trauma patterns, trauma responses, bad boundaries, bad connections, bad relationships, bad self-image, whatever it may be. Here we do that work. The last few months or so, I've really been grappling with how I wanted to kick off this new season, right? And I wanted to start off this season by really honestly pinpointing something that has been a pivotal center of growth for me lately. And that is understanding that I don't need to be understood by anybody. Ooh, let that sink in. You don't have to be understood by any fucking body. It is okay if people don't get you. It is okay if they don't understand what you are endeavoring to achieve, if they don't understand your lifestyle, if they don't understand your choices, if they don't understand your love language, if they don't understand your choice of whom to love, if they don't understand your boundaries, if they don't understand your person, honestly. If they don't understand your heart or your spirit or your mind, if they can look at you in a way that's not true to your person or your character, which sometimes that's on us. Sometimes we act out and we act a fool and we're unaware of our behavior and our mannerisms. Lately, God has been freeing me of those shackles that tie me to the need to be understood by everyone else. Because that need for understanding is really centered in a need for approval. It's centered in a, hey, do you think this makes sense? Because if you do, then I'll pursue it. If you think that it'll work, then I'll do it. But I can't physically trust myself because that would be weird, or that would be wrong, or that would be audacious, or that would be vain. I don't think that trust of self truly initiates from a space of vanity. And before I did. So I would be like, the fuck? Why would I trust what I have to say? Why would I trust what is coming up in my body? Like, I'm not God. Why would I trust myself? And God is like, bitch, why would I put you here not to trust yourself? That's so weird. Why would I communicate with someone that's not trustworthy? Does that make sense? No. God communicates with us because we are worthy of his trust. And because we are worthy, so is everyone else. I have gone through the cycles lately of letting myself be trustworthy, letting myself trust that everything is okay, letting myself trust that I can listen to the voice inside, letting myself trust that I don't need to be understood, letting myself trust that even though everything looks a little weird to other people or a little bit funny on the outside, it still adds up in my mind. It still makes sense to my spirit. It still resonates with my heart. And that's really all that matters. Because at the end of the day, people only have a certain ability to understand you. People have a limited ability to get you because they can only see from the center of themselves. And unless they've developed a certain awareness and compassion and empathy, it's really difficult for them to step outside of themselves in order to see you. Because me, I grew up a people pleaser. I grew up around a lot of craziness and chaos and people that were not self-aware. And so they inflicted harm upon me. I didn't feel safe. And when you don't feel safe, what do? You find any means to make safety for yourself, to generate safety for yourself. That would be in the form of people pleasing. I would make sure that I knew what everyone else needed so that I could meet their needs first. Because if their needs were met, then I was safer, or I felt safer. I was less likely to be attacked. I was less likely to be bullied. I was less likely to be talked about. I was less likely to be you can fly under the radar when you're a people pleaser. That's really what it was. I was flying under the radar, and God is like, baby, no, it's time for you to soar. So we can't be flying under the radar anymore. We cannot live under the confines of other people's opinions. So you got to stop letting them control you. And you're letting them control you and manipulate you because you think that you need to be understood by them. You think that they need to validate your opinion. They need to validate your choices. They need to validate your actions. They need to validate your love life. They need to validate your love interest. They need to validate your career path. They need to validate your money. Like, girl, what? Who is paying your bills? Let these people do what they do and you do what you do. If they don't trust themselves, that's okay. They'll learn in due time. But right now, you are on your own specific journey. And God has really been showing me, like, you are on your own journey, BB. You are on a specific journey. You have a totally different calling than everyone else on this planet. Just like they have a totally different calling than you. So the best thing you can do is honor yourself by learning to trust who you are. And trust that you have worth and value to contribute to this world and this planet, as does everyone else. It's time to trust yourself. For real. And let people be okay. And let it be okay if they don't get you. Let it be okay if they reject you. We don't grovel and beg for scraps. And that's what people pleasing is. It's begging for the bare minimum. And I am through with that shit. I am through with it. The narrative that I needed to be understood was the thing that chained me to that behavior of people pleasing. But now, bitch, I'm set free. And it's time for you to do the same, girl. It's difficult. It's crazy, but you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. The question is, do you believe in yourself? Do you trust yourself? Do you like yourself? Because you don't even got to believe in yourself to be honest. Because what is that? What is believing in yourself really? You know, scientists used to believe that the earth was flat and that if you sailed to a certain point, you would fall off of the planet. But what did we end up realizing? That the world is round. And not only is it round, but it also spins. So we're literally spinning through space and we don't even realize it. We didn't realize it for years. Beliefs change. I'm no longer in the practice of trying to cultivate belief in myself or in others or whatever it may be. I just want to embody the worthiness that I am. I think belief is something that is very much, temporary. It's ever changing. But knowing, that's an ever fixed mark. I want to know that I know that I know that I know that I am trusted, that I'm safe, that I can trust myself. I want to know that the universe has got my back because I know this to be true. But sometimes we forget. That's that spiritual amnesia, y'all. But it's okay. What do you know to be true? Really ask yourself that. And not, oh, I'm overweight. That's temporary. Your weight changes every single fucking day, bitch. I recently had a bad accident in the park, y'all. I fell, busted my damn hand. Thumb came out the socket. And so I haven't really been able to work out for weeks. A few months ago, bitch, my abs were on fleek. Waist was giving teeny, eeny, meeny. And it's still real cute. But it's like my definition is not as prevalent. I'm not as toned right now. And that's okay. I'll get back on it. I've been able to kind of start running a little bit more recently since I got a new sling. But either way, body weight goes up and down. Things that we associate with our nature, they may not actually be true to who we are. And I'm through associating things that are temporary with my nature. Like the stuff that we define ourselves by, that we associate as our identity, it changes all the damn time. So even if people understand you on the level that you are at now, they might not understand you next week or next month or next year, especially at the rate in the speed that we obtain knowledge and wisdom. We are ever changing creations. We are ever changing beings. Do y'all realize how new this planet is? Not this planet, but this world is? Like, we live in an age of social media. That was not a thing more than 20 years ago. We live in an age of influencing. That was not a thing more than about 15 years ago. Things change really fast. And I'm done associating with the change. I want to associate with the ever-fixed truth. And my truth is that I'm worthy. My truth is that I'm good. My truth is that I can trust myself no matter what. Because I am with myself no matter what. That is true love. That is unconditional love. And unconditional love is unlimited truth. It doesn't change with the seasons. It expands because it is limitless, but it's also unconditional, which means it's not temporary. Conditional is temporary. We don't live in the temporary. Well, we live in a temporary type environment. But basically what I'm trying to say is that your need to be understood by people is setting you up for conditional and temporary satisfaction. It's setting you up for a limited understanding of life. It's putting yourself in a box. It's putting boundaries on yourself. And ultimately, it's cutting you off from your potential. It's cutting you off from true fulfillment and true understanding and joy. I recently went to see Beyonce in concert, y'all. Oh, it was so good. For the Renaissance tour. And as most of you know, if you're a member of the Beehive, there is an unspoken dress code for this tour. And so the girls are definitely giving like fashion forward, disco inspired, maximalist type of looks. And I decided to really get out of my comfort zone. And what did I do, y'all? Not only did I wear a skirt, but I also wore a high heel. And that thing was 6 inches tall. And honestly, it's a badass motherfucking heel. I might put a little B-roll in here for y'all to see if you're watching on like YouTube or Spotify. But yeah, I looked amazing. And I got a lot of compliments. But I also got a lot of stares from, people that were like, is that a man in a skirt? Is that a man wearing a high heel? And it was unexpected, honestly, for me, because I was thinking, girl, this is Beyonce's Renaissance tour. Like, this is a safe space. But just because you're a fan of Beyonce doesn't mean you're a forward thinker. And that's okay. Everybody's not meant to live outside of the box. Everybody's not meant to explore new levels of expression and new levels of fashion. Everyone's honestly not meant to be a creative. Some people need cookie cutter. That is their calling. I'm not judging them for it. I just am aware of how my self-expression can be triggering to certain people. And if I still live within the confines of needing to always be understood by everyone else and gain their approval before making decisions for myself and on my own, I honestly don't know who I would be. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm in this thing every single day, making moves for myself within my own business. What I do doesn't make sense to people. Sometimes it don't even make sense to me, but I don't gotta understand it. I just follow my heart, And that's the problem. We're always trying to break shit down and understand it because we are these finite human bodies, human beings, trying to grasp the entire universe. We're trying to put the knowledge of infinite potential, of unconditional love, of miracles and magic and science and truth all into one box that is digestible for us and understandable within our means of expression. If you leave this world, if you leave this earth, like, things don't work like that. They've recently discovered that there are parallel realities. We've recently discovered that the universe isn't shaped in the way that we thought it was. That in fact, there might be multiple universes. Just like we ended up discovering years ago that there were multiple galaxies. There's so much going on that we don't get, that we cannot understand. And so when we get in these triggered spaces, when we're feeling disempowered, what do? We seek to be understood by other people, or we seek to judge people because they don't make sense to our understanding. Or our level of understanding, should I say. Either way, it is time for us to break free. It is time for us to stop flying under the radar. It is time for us to stop limiting ourselves. It is time for us to stop boxing ourselves in by the confines of certain belief systems. God is more than you think he is, he or she, whatever, because honestly, he doesn't have a gender. but I like to call him because I like to call him Papa God. That's how we relate to one another. So him makes sense for me. But there are people who call God her. Are they wrong? No. There are people who don't say God at all. Are they wrong? No. In certain belief systems, people would frown upon that. But if God is all things, why do we need to call him by one name? Why do we need to tell people how they can choose to connect to him, to communicate with him, to see him, to experience him, to experience all that is, because God is all that is? Who are we to tell people what their perception is? Who are we to even tell ourselves that something is right or wrong, or judge ourselves? Who are we to even try to understand what's happening within our own realities? Because honestly, truly, every day I get up, I'm like, you know what, God, this stuff still doesn't make sense to me, but I'm gonna follow my heart, and I'm gonna let you do what you do, and I'm gonna let you take over, and hopefully it leads to something that is good. Which, if I believe the universe got my back, and if I believe that God is good, then goodness is always going to be a result of whatever I do, right? It's okay if you don't understand. It's okay if you can't make sense of what's going on here. It's a lot to take in, honestly. This life thing is confusing, but you don't have to understand it. You're here to experience it. So be in the experiencing. Let down your guard. Let life surprise you. Let people surprise you. Shit, you might even surprise yourself. I'm often surprised by what the fuck I'm doing or who I've become. I would have never seen this for myself. Me, a podcaster? Girl, I was a political science major and graduate, and now I work in social media. Let's make it make sense. Oh, wait, it doesn't. And that's okay. I'm through trying to understand it all. I suggest that you stop trying to understand and maybe just start connecting. Stop trying to be understood and just be. Be you. When I saw those heels online, I was like, bitch, I gotta have them. It didn't make sense to my ego, but it made sense to my heart because it was an expression of my being. And I'd rather be than constantly be trying to understand. Anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of Breakfast with BB. Welcome to season 2, you guys. I have so much in store for you all, and I'm so excited to be back here in this space with you. Again, this is a very safe space. So if you have questions, if you're wondering about anything, if you want me to talk about something in particular, shoot me a DM, either at my personal Instagram, Sir Brandon Nicholas, or my Breakfast with BB Instagram at Breakfast with BB the podcast. You can leave a comment below on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. What else? Or you can leave a comment if you're watching on YouTube. I know I'm not on screen at the moment. It's going to be like little visuals or whatever, but I will be getting back on camera soon enough. So yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for just listening to this episode. Thank you so much. I hope you were open. I hope you took it in. And I hope it brought something to you. I hope you feel a little bit more at peace. Okay? I hope this filled you up a bit, because that's what a good breakfast is supposed to do. Anyways, I got to go now, but I love you guys. I will catch you soon. Until next time. Mwah.